let he among you who is without sin cast the first stone. There are cultures in which lapidation still takes place as an execution. But in our Western society, things are done more subtly. And we have other stones, sharp and lethal. How many, through what comes through a screen, end up in depression and ultimately isolation and even suicide? It is happening. Communication has changed on the level of the globe since the invention of internet, texts, emails, and other means of impersonal communication. By impersonal, I mean no longer facial. One doesn't see the person at the receiving end of whatever it might be. It goes into the void. It comes out of an aggressive heart, sharp and well aimed, and usually has its effect, and we know nothing about it. It's quite different when one talks into the eyes of a human being present before us and sees the facial reactions and the tone of voice. For what is lacking in a text is a voice and its tone, its overtones and undertones. And texts, by the way, aren't always clear. They can be taken up badly. They can be misunderstood. By their very nature, they tend to be brief. The very word SMS means that. Short message service. And so it is that one day we will find these texts and messages coming up on our copybook after death. And there, that verse of Scripture, that word from the Lord Himself, will come back to us also. Verse 36 of the 12th chapter of St. Matthew. We will have to answer for every idle word. And by the way, this plethora of communications coming from screens is now damaging our own intimacy, because others are coming into us and bombarding their way into our soul. This new custom of sending things around is becoming invasive because of the fact that somebody has taken the care to do that for us. We may think obliged to look into it. If one has a few people linked to one, this can be multiplied because they are all on this system. In practice, the screen can become reality. And also, the way in which one can, if one isn't careful, receive messages from souls that one has not met is devastatingly dangerous. They have no right to be inside our soul. Prudence, then, in the use of modern means of communication. Otherwise we will not receive the grace of this forced rest, forced breaking of the speed of humanity. Instead of pausing on the silence of eternity and listening to its author, will be contaminated by the urgency of the next bleep. With regard to then the loss of the grace of this particular moment in history, it could be serious. Some years ago, a priest in the States by the name of Father Stephen Shire, had a terrible accident on a highway. A massive truck went into him and he was clinically dead. But he wasn't prepared, and he was going the wrong way on the other side, and being shown why. Suddenly, just before the last sentence was pronounced, a female voice pleaded with her son, "Give him to me, give me one more chance." And he was given a second chance, and this message came back to him for us. One problem had been not that he wasn't going to confession, but that he wasn't using it properly. And he warned us, it's not enough to confess one's sins. The gospel of this day is a gospel of great compassion, mercy, and of second chances. But he doesn't leave the woman in her sin. He does say, sin no more. And if confession is used as a rubber stamp, as a means of sinning again until the next confession, then there is a danger of falling into the illness of hardening of the heart, what is referred to in the Pentateuch as a stiff-necked people. Hardness of heart comes from abusing grace. And the fundamental law of the spiritual life is that grace abused withdraws itself. Upon the regal banners fly, now shines the cross's mystery. Upon it life did death endure, and yet by death did life procure. That which the prophet King of old hath in mysterious verse foretold, is now accomplished whilst we see God ruling nations from a tree. Blessed tree whose happy branches bore the wealth that did the world restore, the beam that did that body weigh, which raised up hell's expecting prey. Hail cross upon thee we call, who keep this mournful festival. Grant to the just increase of grace, and every sinner's crimes efface. Blessed Trinity, we praise and sing, to thee from whom all graces spring. Celestial crowns on those bestow, who conquer through the cross below.